Hey guys, welcome to Lunchtime with Mr. Mike. I hope you guys are having a good time. And man, how have you guys liked virtual camp? All right, the devos, the messages, the crazy activity things. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. I know we had a lot of fun putting it together for you. Hopefully, virtual camp's something that you guys will see periodically throughout the years. And we've been wanting to do a lot of stuff like this. We just haven't had a chance. And so God really orchestrated some really cool opportunities for us to be able to put this all together. And so hopefully you guys have been enjoying it. And hopefully you guys have learned a lot of things about the Bible, about each other, about just ways to have fun. And again, I hope you guys are doing well. This is our last lunchtime together. And so, hey, I hope you guys have something good to eat. Or if you don't actually watch this at lunch, I hope you still have something good to eat. Anyway, so question for today. We've talked about stupid injuries. We've talked about stupid purchases. In fact, this would probably just be better off being called Stupid Lunch with Mr. Mike, because we talk about a lot of the stupid things we've done. But hey, I've lived long enough to do a lot of stupid things. But here is the question for today. What is your favorite vacation memory? When I was a kid. So yeah, put that in the comments. What's your favorite vacation memory? When I was a kid, my parents and I, and my brothers, depending on what time of year it was. One of my brothers was 6 years older, and then one of my other brothers was 9 years older. So just quite an age gap. And so once my brother got out of high school, I was just going into high school. So basically my entire high school years, I basically was the only child. It was awesome. So I had all the benefits of like having siblings, and then all the benefits of not having any siblings and being the only child. It was great. So it's cool. But anyway, when I was a kid, my parents and I would go traveling. And so one time we were traveling for my mom's work, and so we flew into Denver, Colorado, and we made it up and over the Rockies and back around, I think in like 2 days. And so my family, when we travel hard. We flew, so that was Denver one time, and my mom went and did work, and my dad and I went to like the Denver Mint and wandered around the city. So that was one trip we took. There was another time where we flew into Las Vegas, and those of you who know the geography of the area, you kind of could appreciate the insanity of what we did. We went from Las Vegas to the Hoover Dam. From the Hoover Dam, we went to Sedona, and that region. Then we went all the way to like Monument Valley area, like Oak Canyon and Walnut Canyon and all that. And then we looped back around to the Grand Canyon, and from the Grand Canyon back to Vegas. And so we were driving sometimes 5 hours a day. And so it was absolutely nuts. I do kind of regret it, because I was kind of in those teenage years where I was sick of certain things. I was really excited to be on the trip, don't get me wrong. But by the time we got to Monument Valley, which looking back I would really like to see, I had been in the car for like 5-hour jaunts, and this was back before tablets and the long battery life of like anything. So I had like one of those little car plugins that you could run a laptop off of, and so I had this really old Dell laptop that I was writing a story on, and that was mostly all I had to entertain myself while we drove like 5 hours at a jaunt. So it was, looking back, it was a really cool opportunity. I just didn't appreciate it as much because I was so sick of being in the car. And so we got to Monument Valley, and I pretty much was like, I'm just gonna stay in the car. And if you've ever been to Monument Valley, I have. I just never got beyond the like parking lot. But my parents went and had a tour of Monument Valley in like a Jeep or something, and I slept in the car. And so I was an idiot. I don't know why I did that. I think I was just so tired of traveling at that point. And so my parents went and did all this traveling, and I slept in the car. And then they were like, oh, that was really cool. And I was like, yeah. The Grand Canyon was really neat, but I didn't see the Monument Valley. So that is one of my regrets. But what is your crazy vacation trip? So we used to do trips all the time, about every year, sometimes twice a year. And so typically what we would do is we would hit the road and drive to Florida from New Hampshire, which was about a 26-hour drive, and we would do it in about 26 hours. And so we would drive through the night, we'd get to Florida, and my dad would inevitably do things that would cause us to start making fun of him. And so we wrote a whole song one time It was like, he drives over curbs, he drives under curbs, he cuts old ladies in line. He drives on the grass and then he blames us. He's our dear daddy, fine. And it was just some stupid song that me and my brothers wrote because he drove over a curb and he cut an old lady in line and he drove on the grass, and so we were just coming up with stuff, because when you're stuck in a car for 26 hours without anything to watch and anything to do, and you've read the book already, there's just not much else to do. And so we would make our own fun. Any of you who've driven up and down 95, I think it is, or 90, I think it's 95. It's over on the East Coast. Once you get to the Carolinas, you start seeing signs of a guy in a massive sombrero, and it's a tourist trap called South of the Border. And so you see signs for it like 100 miles out, and they're just stupid. I mean, it's hilarious, but they're stupid. And it's like, start screaming now, kids, they'll stop. Only 46 miles to go. And you just watch for them. It just becomes part of the fun. And so again, we've done a lot of fun road trips. I think one of my favorite memories from the road trip was from that road trip to Arizona, where we did the Vegas to Hoover Dam to Oak Canyon, Walnut Canyon, Sedona, all that. On that trip, my two major things happened. The first one is there is a place called Sedona, which is absolutely beautiful. If you've ever been to Sedona, you know what I'm talking about. It's these red mesas that rise up, so you drive down into this valley, and there's these red mesas everywhere, and it's just this red dirt, and it is gorgeous, okay? We had stayed overnight in Sedona, and we were leaving Sedona to head about 45 minutes to an hour away, I think it was, to go to a place called Sunset Crater, which is an old volcano. Well, I left Sedona, and I think I was wearing shorts and maybe sandals or sneakers or something. And we were about to go walking on lava rock at Sunset Crater. Well, I wanted to change into pants and some boots. And so I went to look at my luggage, and all of my luggage was missing. Couldn't find my boots, couldn't find my pants, couldn't find any of my clothes. Turns out we had left all of my clothes at the hotel about an hour away. Now remember, we were traveling like 5 hours a day to get to our different locations. My dad didn't want to go back for my suitcase. So I had multiple days in a trip, and I had no spare clothes. And my dad wouldn't go back to the hotel to get it because I was supposed to put it in the car. I thought he was supposed to put it in the car. And so between the two of us, we completely missed my entire suitcase. Had it shipped to my house, actually, so I got it after the trip. And so that was the first part where I had no clothes. All right, I had basically what I was wearing. And so we had to stop at Walmart, buy a whole bunch of extra clothes, and that was kind of that unfortunate first stage of our journey. Well, several days later, we looped around Arizona into a little bit into Utah, I believe, and then back around, and we drove to the Grand Canyon. Now we hit the Grand Canyon, and it was snowing a little bit on the top, and so I was wearing pants and a shirt and all that, obviously, but long pants and long sleeve shirt because it was cold. Well, as we started hiking, we were warned, don't try to make it all the way to the river because you won't make it all the way to the river and back in one day. In fact, a lot of people who try actually have to get helicopter lifted out, and it costs a lot of money because they think they're more energetic than they are. And so if you try to make it all the way to the river, because you're hiking backwards, okay? So in a normal hike, you hike up a mountain, you get all tired on the way up, and then it's all downhill from there. The Grand Canyon is deceptive because you're actually hiking down, and then you've got to turn around and hike back up, and that's where it gets exhausting. And so I've been able to hike the Grand Canyon a few times with various family members, and I've never made it all the way to the river. But this one time, I forget what trail I was on, but it was a donkey trail, mule trail, whatever. And so it was a switchback, so all the way down. And my parents were hiking a little slower, and so I outstripped them by a good distance. And so I was just eager to hike as far as I could. So I'm hiking, I've got the backpack on with the food and the water, which wasn't the wisest decision on our family's part. And so I'm hiking, and as I get deeper and deeper in the canyon, it gets warmer and warmer. And so I had changed my pants into shorts, and I had changed my shirt. And so I was dressed completely differently than when my mom saw me last. Well, unbeknownst to me, because I'm just hiking, and I get all the way down to this plateau. I thought I was within a few miles of the river, but it was still a bit to go from there. But I got down to this plateau, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna turn around. This is about as far as I think I can make it. So I turned around and I started hiking back out. Well, unbeknownst to me, my mom and dad, who were way, way, way back, they had run into someone, I think it was a park ranger or someone hiking along, and they were like, you need to turn around. Like, you can't go much further than this and get back in the day. This is still morning. But for some reason they said that to my mom, and so she's like, well, our son is way down below. And they're like, where? And they're like, well, I mean, way down there. And like, oh, I mean, that's, and he has all of our water and our food. And I'm like, well, that's not wise. Well, my mom started to panic a little bit. And so when I entered the story, I had hiked down to that plateau, turned around, and hiked back up. And I'm hiking, and all I hear as I come up around this bend, and you can kind of see like up over there, that's where some other people are. I can hear my mom talking into like a phone or some sort of radio. Oh, he's here, park ranger. You don't need to come anymore. She had called the park ranger on me because she was so worried that I was going to be like trapped way down in the canyon and all that. She was trying to get notification to anyone down there to find me and send me back up. But she didn't realize all of my outfit had changed. And so she was describing what I had been wearing in the morning. And so I come up out of the canyon, and it's her saying, oh, we found him, park ranger. You don't need to look for him anymore. Okay. And so we ribbed her for that for a little while. And so I think we still rib her for that one. And so we made it up out of that canyon. It was one of the few times, and I can't remember if it was that trip to the Grand Canyon or another one, where like I could scrape the salt off my face. That's how sweaty I had been. And so it was a pretty cool hike. It was really neat. But yeah, it was the day my mom called the park ranger on me. So anyway, those are just some adventures. Again, they all happened in Arizona on that one. And I hope you guys have some fun adventure stories. I have gotten the distinct privilege of traveling back and forth across the country several times with my wife, and up and down the East Coast and up and down the West Coast. And so I've seen a lot of really funny things, a lot of really stupid things. And so again, I just want to hear what are your silly road trip stories? What's stupid things that have happened on a journey or on a vacation? And share those in the comments. Guys, I've enjoyed this week. I hope you have a really, really good rest of the summer. Hope you have a good school year. And hope to see you guys in the fall for Youth Rally. And catch up with me, share some of the stories, tell me about what you enjoyed most about virtual camp. And hey guys, I'm signing out one last time. This is Mr. Mike.